So thanks for tuning in to another episode of Working Alaska, where we build context around the businesses and the local entrepreneurs in Alaska. I'm the host, Alex, the real estate dude, and today we're sitting with 203 Kombucha.
Yep, I'm David Boortz, here owner and operator of 203 Kombucha. We're on the Uptown end of Palmer, so the thriving new area of town.
Not the downtown, the Uptown.
Not downtown, Uptown is the way to be.
I like it. So today we're going to talk about who he is. We're going to talk about the plan in the business, or for the business of 203 Kombucha, as far as what you can expect from them in the community. And then we're going to get into a little bit of the business side as far as marketing and how he drives business and growth and stuff like that on the back end of the show. Ready to jump into it?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so I want the nitty gritty. Like, what makes you you? Like, where were you born? How'd you get started? What's the whole picture?
Yeah, I am pretty much a diehard beachside Southern California guy.
Okay. You got a surfer dude?
Absolutely. Surf-inspired art all over this place. I go to Indonesia,
longboards
surfing. Yeah. So I started a skateboard company when I was in high school called Nuclear Skateboards, and that was the beginning of the entrepreneurially thing.
So right away, in high school, you started. You were ready.
Do some math, people. That's a while ago. But
you look young.
Yeah, thanks. Shave. It's all it takes. But no, so skateboarding is a part of what you do in California. Okay. It's great every day of the year, and I lived about 45 minutes away from the beach. So as soon as you turn 16, you can drive to the beach with your friends. So we would go camping at the beach all the time. Okay. And between surfing and skateboarding, I basically had a full schedule. And that led me to going to school in Santa Barbara, college, where you can still surf and skateboard, maintaining the skateboard company the whole time. Transitioned a little bit.
Was it successful? Skateboard company enough to keep you going at least?
I think it was successful in its aim to teach an individual what to do. I think that skateboarding, you learn, is a pretty tough market. The brand loyalty is strong. I was loyal to my skateboarding brands. Right. These are the good ones. These are the bad ones for no reason, really. Opinions of teenagers. Right. But I kept it up because it's fun and you learn a lot, and I like to work with my hands. These are handmade skateboards all through college, and still maintained it as a side gig. Do now. It's still an active company. But with an interest in science, went to school in Santa Barbara for physics.
So, we're going to back up a little bit. You grew up in California. You were an entrepreneurial kid. Did that mean you were like a DNF student? Or
no,
were you good in school too and you just had the entrepreneurial drive? Like, what is that?
There's no Einstein or Elon Musk story. I got B's mostly. An A in the easy classes. C's in the hard classes.
Yeah, good enough, pretty average. But that's definitely
B's
not.
Slightly above that.
I know if I got B's or C's, my parents were not happy. So B's were.
I mean, if you're parenting somebody and what they do is school, then I think that's probably important that they're good at school. I think that my folks looked at what's happening, what I'm doing, and maybe B's are okay if you're starting a skateboard company.
Right. I mean, you still got the degree or diploma.
Exactly. What's the goal?
Okay. So, decent at school, good enough to go by, slightly above average. Then you started in the skateboarding, you got into college, and then you came up to Alaska while you were in college, or did you graduate and get a diploma?
Nope. I graduated 4 years, got a physics degree.
Got a physics degree?
Yeah, physics. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like physics. I mean, you should too. It's great.
I mean, it's everything.
It is, right? So naturally, I got a job at a nuclear power plant as a nuclear engineer for just out of college. They were hiring. I needed money, right? College debt, that kind of thing. So I moved about an hour and a half north of Santa Barbara to a town called San Luis Obispo, or SLO. Not anything like San Luis or San Luis Obispo. We call it SLO. Anyway, lived there for 10 years. That's from 2002 to 2006 to 2016 or so. Worked at the nuclear power plant. Sort of transitioned with that company to a part-time job in San Francisco and a part-time job in San Luis Obispo. So did a lot of like cohabiting. There.
Why? Was that because you were starting to try to move into the entrepreneurial side?
No, it was the opposite. I was being shaped more for like, boardroom business people.
Okay. Okay.
Semi-energetic engineer goes a long way in the field of kind of shy engineers.
From skateboarding guy, surfer guy, to wearing suits and ties.
Yeah.
Semi-energetic engineer.
Yeah, I mean, and basically you will be selected to translate what's going on at the nuclear power plant to the board of directors of the company. Okay. Right, so there's a pretty wide language and experience gap there. There's Harvard MBAs and whatnot, and then there's PhD engineers.
Right.
They don't know how to talk to each other.
Yeah,
it's like your classic
that's a big gap.
office space story. I'm a people person. I talk to people.
Yeah.
But no, that got a little bit boring in that it's not challenging, or what was challenging about it was not interesting to me, like time management and leading meetings. That's not interesting. It's challenging for some people, and it was challenging for me, but it didn't have like the feel goods really.
Okay.
So
okay,
I decided that it was time to leave.
So now it's 2016. Nuclear physics is boring.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It is, I guess.
So now it's 2018 and you own 203 Kombucha.
Yep. So I just quit, and I sold my house in California. Got in the car with my little doggy, and we just hit the road for Canada for a couple months. Drove up from. We actually started in slow and drove through San Francisco, where I have friends and stuff. Washington, all the way up to Inuvik, actually, like pretty far up in the Yukon.
Okay.
Did that for a couple months, 2, 3, 4 months, and then made it to Alaska the end of 2018.
Was that the goal? Is to kind of bebop your way up to Alaska, or you just kind of went?
I was going to live in my truck forever. That was the goal. I had enough money and no expenses, so that worked out pretty well.
It's the surfer dude coming back to you. You go back to your roots.
No, but surprisingly, I didn't go for I didn't like road trip down to Baja or something. I wanted the Great North experience.
Okay.
So maybe I'm off on years. That would be This is 2019 now. This would be 2017 now. So October 2017, I finally made my way. I quit my job earlier that year.
Okay.
Drove up to Alaska, and by October, didn't have any plans to stay here, but it had gotten pretty cold, and I had a California truck, not very winter ready, and was encouraged by a friend who lived here that I should just hang out for a little bit, rent a cabin, and just live Alaska for a little bit.
Okay.
I had no reason not to, so I got a cabin in Sutton, a dry cabin, a little Alaska-like,
Yeah.
Although, the more you spend time here, like, everyone's done it. Like, everyone's Alaskan.
Yeah.
Dry cabin is only interesting to people that
outside of Alaska.
don't live in Alaska. Yeah. So I did that for only a couple of months. So now you're pushing the end of 2017, and I had been making kombucha my whole, many years prior to that. So I brought when I went back down to California for a trip to like move stuff again, storage life. I brought back my little SCOBY and took it on the plane. Actually, it didn't take it on the plane. It was liquid. I was asking. Put it in the checked baggage, and started a SCOBY little kombucha operation just for myself in the dry cabin. Just paling water from the Chevron station down the street.
Okay.
And then I started to give it away to some folks. I took some substitute teaching jobs here in town.
Okay.
Giving it to teachers. So like 1 2-gallon batch was not enough. So then there was 2 5-gallon batches. That wasn't enough. Then there was like 5 10-gallon batches. And then I put in 2 chest freezers, 10 kegs, and a little storage water tank thing in the cabin. So it was very crowded.
Yeah.
And it looked kind of more like mad scientist-y. Like it was not a cabin anymore. It was certainly it became a kombucha operation.
Tubes and kegs and stuff,
and
buckets and.
So then I just officially said, I think I'm going to just make this a company. It seems like there's a market for it. Rented a small warehouse space around by the fairgrounds, and just went with it. I fast-tracked the startup phases because I had done that with the skateboarding company.
Okay.
Once, kind of twice even. It was revitalized, just a few years ago. And brand. What's your brand? What's the what are you about? Like all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me instead of me and like 5 indecisive friends. So it went very fast.
Okay.
This is my name. This is the logo. This is what I want to do. Here's what I want to produce for people. And I just picked it up. And then I went into sales, like old-fashioned salesman mode, which is taking samples, knocking on restaurant doors, getting denied, but piquing interest. Oh, what's that kombucha stuff? Oh, I don't know. Let me come back again for a sample day.
Right.
Basically every place in town here, I hosted some sort of like non-committed. Let me just bring it in. I'll give it to your customers, and and we'll see what the reaction.
And
is.
so you already had a little bit of experience. You had already had some operation going to where you had good flavors worked out and stuff like that. Like you were like, here's the good stuff.
Yeah.
Try it, see if you love it.
Correct. The cabin was basically a testing ground.
Okay.
So by the time I was ready to put a deposit down in the warehouse space, I had the interest of a handful of people that would at least cover basic bills if they were to pick up a wholesale account. 1 keg a week, 1 keg a week, 1 keg a week. Few places in town, keep it simple, distribution model, self-distribution. It was looking pretty good. Not sure, not certain, but I just did, the faster I could do it, the better.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So one thing I definitely want to hit on before we get too far is you got here in October 2017. It's crazy to see that because I got here in October 2017 as well.
Cool. How many houses you sold?
Just to see like 10 or 12 or 15.
Yeah, that was great. That's like that's a lot.
Just to see like that's a year and a half ago. And you went from maybe I'll stay, I'm just going to get a dry cabin. All of that stuff to happen in a year and a half. That's crazy fast.
It is fast, but Alaska things can happen fast.
Right.
Compared to California and starting the business in California, I mean, I picked up the phone, called the state of Alaska, and I said I want a business. They gave me a different phone number. I called them. I said, okay, I want an LLC. I need a registered agent. They said, oh, that can be you. Great, that's me. Within 2 or 3 days, I had an established LLC. Yeah. And it's a single member, which that's when you establish it that way. It's a little easier. Yeah. But it wasn't too hard. Now I had advantages because I sold my house, right? So
you had the capital.
I have the capital.
Right.
I had talked to the banks anyway. They don't like new business, and kombucha is even a weirder business.
Right.
So
in Alaska too, I'm sure. If you were talking to the local banks, they were like, we don't really know what that is. You're the only one. We don't have a model to follow.
Yeah, but my other option was just phased approach. You can do it fine. I can substitute teach 3 days a week. I can make kombucha in the evenings and the mornings, and I can make it happen. Yeah. If you want to make it happen, I was going to make it happen either way. Right.
And so you were willing to put in the work.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So if that was knocking on restaurants' doors, doing self-distribution, like whatever it took, one step at a time to make it work.
That's how Alaska works. I came from San Francisco, where it's like you can't go anywhere without overhearing somebody talking about their app that's going to change the world. But it's not changing the world. It's doing it. I don't know what I wanted to do was have a real product, like a thing. I make the thing, and then I give the thing to people, and they say that's a nice thing. Or no thanks, that thing's not for me, but it's a different kind of business. It doesn't have the scalability as internet. I mean, you can only sell so many houses. Right. That's a thing. Right. But it's what I do find rewarding.
Right. And I think that's what I listen to a lot of the. Have you heard of Gary Vee?
No research and no business experience whatsoever.
So he's the entrepreneur's entrepreneur, and so he talks all the time about self-awareness and like. Everyone wants to have a new app or a new business or a new startup or a new something with $10 million funding and all this stuff. But the key behind all of it is like what makes you happy. Yeah. That's it. Like if you're making $30,000 and you love it, why do you need anything else? Like you're already happy making $30,000 doing something you love.
Yeah. I realized I wasn't happy doing nothing and not needing to do anything. Right. That wasn't good. Right. I did enjoy one quiet winter, right? It was nice to have that refresh.
Was that here in Alaska?
That October, moving here in October, between October and December was a lot of good, just long nights of sleep, quiet cabin nights, just really nice.
Up in Sutton, so you're not even hearing traffic
No,
here.
no, I wouldn't leave
cracking
for
the
days.
branches.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah.
But then it was time to get going.
And so that even makes it more impressive because October to December you weren't doing anything.
I mean, I was subtle.
So now
I was planning. You know, it's scheming. How am I going to make it work? I didn't know anything about large scale making, kombucha production. What is it? I'm not going to hand bottle thousands of bottles. I'm also not going to buy a $300,000 machine to do it for me. So what's the in between? Okay, that's going to be a kegging model. Okay, if it's going to be a kegging, what types of kegs are there, and how do they operate? What are their pressures? And that little engineering experience helps, right?
Definitely.
You call a company to talk about a product, and as soon as you start kind of the engineering speak, they say, "Let me put you in touch with the engineer." They design the tank, and then you're saying, "Oh, here's my situation. These are the temperatures. These are my pressures. Is that going to work for kombucha?" That's pretty helpful.
Yeah, and having that background definitely.
Yeah.
Because on this side looking in, I would just be like, I need kegs for kombucha.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I know.
It's tough.
Give me all the answers.
And people like to share, but you got to figure it out.
Yeah. So now what month is it? May? Is it May? It's May 2nd. Yeah, yesterday was May Day.
Yeah.
So now it's May 2nd, 2019. You're in Uptown Palmer, 203 Kombucha. What are you thinking now? Like you've sustained a lot of growth. Are you trying to maintain that level of growth? Are you trying to spread the restaurant? Are you trying to where's the model going?
It's interesting that the wholesale model proved successful in the year 2018 in that I think there's a need for kombucha or an interest. I wouldn't even say it's a need, right? It's not a need-based business. This is a want.
Right.
So people want kombucha. That's great. I can provide it to them, and I can do it at a price that is sustainable for me and them. So that was great. However, I learned a little bit more about Palmer during that year and what this city, what is the town really about, right? I got out of the cabin. I'm going downtown. I want to eat. I want to get some coffee. I want to meet a friend, or I'm going to socialize. What am I going to socialize?
Right.
And it, through that process, it became a little more apparent that Palmer, as a city, as a community, is actually asking for more than just a new beverage. They want a place.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, okay, I can make a place.
Right.
I was going to do more of a brewery model, like come on out to my warehouse, tap room where I'm making kombucha.
Okay.
And that was the cheaper route. But after learning that people want like a weekly place to go hang, maybe take their family, maybe meet their friends that are not drinking. This building happened to become available, and I just said that's really the only option.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of places to do it, and if I don't do it, someone definitely will. Because I heard a lot of talk about, man, Palmer needs something. Palmer needs something.
Yeah. I mean, there's the coffee shops you can, like Vagabond Blues, you can go to, and there's that.
Totally.
And then there's the breweries in the later afternoon, but that middle ground in between.
Or just whatever it is. There's another want/need for a place to hang out.
Yeah.
It might be for an alcoholic drinker like me. I like beer, but maybe it's on a day I don't want to drink beer, or it's during the day you want to take your family, or it's just a different atmosphere, right? We're a small business. We're not the big business. I can do whatever I want with this place.
Right.
I can try something weird, and it doesn't work, and then that's fine.
Right.
We don't have much loss.
I think that's the other good thing that I see in a lot of Palmer and that you're doing is every time I've walked in here, I see like you're the first person I see most of the time. Like you're so active. You're not on the background doing it. You're a small business owner. You're in here going and picking up carrots before our interview.
Yeah.
Like you're doing all the things.
I have two very capable part-time employees that are learning a lot about the whole operation.
Yep.
But I mean, they have to be enabled to help me to help them. So that's I have to be here every day.
Yeah. I definitely think you hit the nail on the head, and it's really nice to see what you guys are doing for the culture in Palmer specifically.
And like I've said, when I talk to people around here, my job is basically done here. Like as far as building it, that's almost as far as I could see the vision. Like what I want to do was to get the place built, and other people were coming, and through conversations that we're having now, and people that are meeting, that's going to help figure out what's coming next. Do they want more kombucha? Do they want more space to hang out? So, and because, I don't know, just because I guess I think it's most fair and just, and from what I can determine is the safest and smartest business approach is we have effective, whatever, a few weeks ago, implemented employee ownership model. So
I'm glad you said that because I was going to ask you about it because I think
it's got to be, it's not mine. Like I'm saying, it's not, I work here and they work here. So we both have to take ownership over what we do.
Right.
And I don't think I can pay people enough money to like want to keep them here just based on their money. Maybe it's because I come from like money is not going to, a little more money is not going to make you happy. If I hire at $1 an hour more than someone else, they might stay here for a couple months. Yeah. But I don't want that, right? I want someone to do this with me. I want them to feel like, oh, we need carrots. I'll get some carrots. Or, we'll stay a little bit later today. That's what owners do.
Yeah, they're invested.
Exactly.
They absolutely are invested.
And because it's hard to start your own business with your own money, I got lucky with that, right? Engineers are well paid, great, got lucky with a house, sold the house, that's all great. That's not I don't take full responsibility for that stuff, right? So once you share it around a little bit, it will totally come back to me. It'll totally be a better run and happier place. They're going to be more invested in it. They're going to tell more people about it. It's going to just work better and like it'll grow in the right way. It won't get stale.
So is that your main driver of growth? Let's go into that section there. Is that just word of mouth there?
I think that we will grow in other areas that we feel as a new business are needed.
Okay.
And it's probably going to be kombucha. Maybe we'll have satellite tap rooms, or maybe we move this operation back to a warehouse. Okay. We have an experimental line here, and we want to serve more food, or have a night, a show venue, like an indoor. I don't know. It could be anything.
Yeah. And then, that's what you said too. Is you're kind of letting the people decide. Like,
we're letting it evolve a little naturally, right?
Right.
Because I think I can make the kombucha work to cover our experimental costs.
Okay. So let's go back just a little bit then. So from day one, how were you? Like, you opened this place, or you started getting a wholesale? Was it just knocking on doors, or were you doing email marketing? Were you doing social media marketing? Were you like, what else were you doing to get your name out?
No emails. Social media, yeah, that's good. I haven't experienced. I have some good photographer friends. I have some history with like how that gets you attention. But satellite attention is not that helpful, right? If people all over the world are supporting my kombucha operation in a small town in Palmer, does that impact my day-to-day sales? Probably not so much. But if I land big clients like Keenan or the Brewing Company, or Bleeding Heart Brewery, who is like a personal favorite, right?
Right.
They will. I entrust my product in a business that is entrusted by their customers, and they'll just come to me.
Absolutely.
And it works.
Yeah.
I got downtown Palmer non-essentials, huge client, probably breakout kind of wholesale client. The owner at the time totally went out on a limb. I installed a large fridge, multiple flavors, and it was just people would come in there and they would be like, "What is that?" And I'd be sitting there saying, "I don't know. Try a sample. Try a sample."
Yeah.
And it just it will. Okay. Excellent.
So definitely like hard-nosed entrepreneur knocking on doors.
Yeah.
Like that's really everything you say. Like you do have the social media. That's how I got in contact with you.
Yeah, and I mean, once you have something to tell, like the story via social media is a fine line. You don't want. I don't want it to be for information purposes. I want it to be for entertainment purposes.
Okay.
So, if I'm saying something on social media, I want you to think, "Oh, I'm glad he said that."
Okay.
Or if it's a funny photo, I want you to be like, "That's a funny photo."
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I don't want to blast repetitive. Here's where I am. Come see me. Come see me. Come see me. Come see me.
Right.
Because if you want to, you'll hear about us eventually. I don't know. That's just the way I'm doing it. It seems
Okay.
a little more lax,
Uh-huh.
but I think it's more fun. I think social media for our business is more about fun,
Right.
and being weird sometimes.
Based on the model that you were talking about, though, and then trying to be that, adding to the culture of Palmer like you're doing, I think it makes sense that that's the route that you take with social media. Like,
Correct.
not 100% sales, not like try this new flavor, come here,
Yes.
come here, but just kind of like, this is who we are and this is what we're doing.
And
Like,
what do you
that's
think
funnier,
that
that's
people
cool,
want to
that's-
see when they open their Instagram account? Like,
Right.
what do they really want to see about this company?
Right.
If there's a flavor that hasn't been on in a really long time or something, and it is kind of newsworthy, that's what I think. Is this newsworthy?
Uh-huh.
When we cooked our first avocado toast, I looked at it, I'm like, this is pretty newsworthy. It's also just so Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Food. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
come on. It's avocado toast.
I know. It's
How
like
could you not love it?
Exactly. Exactly. But he's got to be delicate with that stuff.
Yeah.
And try to make it fun.
I like it. Yeah. And so, are you on Instagram?
Yeah.
You are on Instagram, Facebook,
Facebook, Instagram, and
any of the other ones? LinkedIn, Snapchat,
no.
TikTok.
What is that?
There's a million out there.
No, and nothing else.
Okay.
Facebook is maybe even fading out. I can't tell. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Alaska is a different thing. But there's more Facebook users in Alaska of different age groups than there was in San Francisco.
No doubt. Yeah.
So they, I used to buy stuff on Craigslist. Now I buy stuff on Facebook.
Yep.
But there's got to be. I think when you start the business, you got to determine what is the lowest hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe go for it. But be fun and creative.
Yeah.
If it's easy, Facebook. I don't know. We'll see what happens with stuff.
Yeah. So, wrap it up real quick. We're probably at 20 minutes, I'm sure. What do you have coming up? Do you have events coming up? Do you have just coming to the room? You have new flavors? Like, what's?
Yeah, we've got.
What's the new thing?
I feel like a broken record when I say it, but like our batch sizes are bigger now.
Yeah.
And
That's what
finally
this
after
is.
finally after Alaskan reality, which is you can't do roofing when there's snow. You can't. There's minor things that we needed to get done that I did not foresee as like a newbie to the state. That it was part of the operation.
Yeah.
When the ground freezes, you can't do certain things. When there's snow on the roof, you can't do. So anyway,
Yeah.
now that
Alaska's
we're
different.
we're in our season, our batch sizes are up, our flavors will be maintained longer. So we're going to get back up to we want to have the 6 or 7 options kind of thing.
Okay.
And we're working on some collaborative events with local businesses.
Okay.
Nothing newsworthy right now, basically. Just come in on a day and just hang out with us.
So when those are newsworthy, how do people figure out?
We'll be on the Facebook. Facebook will be where we can make really clear announcements for an event. But we're trying also the repetitive, the cyclic models. So Wednesdays are trivia.
Okay.
Every Wednesday is trivia.
Okay.
If you don't make it to a Wednesday, just come to next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, and Thursdays, we want to have a fun record game night. You want to
Okay.
come play a vinyl, listen to our vinyls, come hang
Okay.
out. And Friday, we got open mic. So Wednesday,
All right.
Thursday, Friday, it's all about 6 o'clock to question mark. If you don't make one, just come to the next one. So we did a little bit of kind of Facebook stuff for that. Now we're kind of just letting it word of mouth spread that.
Okay. Okay. So the new things on Facebook, and then you'll let the word of mouth as they develop, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to put every Wednesday that's trivia night.
Nope.
Like now that people know about trivia night,
Nope.
now it's just going to spread organically.
Yep, and it's
Okay.
that's how it should be. I
Yeah.
feel like that's the most natural.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the surfer. Yeah, I can see it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Well, is there anything else that I didn't ask or say that you wanted? Your last little shtick.
I mean, just come tell me your ideas. I mean, you got something interesting to say about the space, or the way you decorated it, or you have a flavor option, or you're a kombucha connoisseur, or whatever.
Okay.
Just come talk to me. I'm here.
Perfect. So any ideas or favorite things, come talk to you.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Shoot me a DM on
Collaborations.
Instagram, stuff
Sure.
like that. However they want to reach
Yeah.
out. Just
Instagram's
you want
great.
the ideas of the people.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go.
Perfect. All right, man. I appreciate you doing this.
Pleasure.
That's it. Thanks. Till next time.
Till next time.